wrote the book on Knocking the Hustle Against Neoliberal Turn in Black Politics. How does Bernie even begin to relate to the upper classes in the black community, or does he just abandon them and try to speak to the working class?
I would argue that he go directly to working class and middle income black voters, because if you look at it, they represent the bulk of the voting capacity of the black communities. They're going to be the ones who are most affected positively. And arguably, to the extent that this is also not just about him as an individual, this is about building kind of a cohort of progressive and left-leaning candidates at the local, state, and national level. It's in those spaces.
My mic. Okay. Look, so he's saying don't waste your time with rich black people. There's not enough of them. Hey, you're right. I mean, we can win without them, but that doesn't mean that you don't try to win them over. I mean, even if you don't get their vote. And by the way, the biggest problem with the black communities is that they don't vote. They don't vote at all. And the reason for that is obvious. When you've got a choice between Hillary Clinton, who's, if I were black and I took one look at Hillary Clinton, I'd be like racist. I mean, you just see it in her face, right? And your other choice is Trump, really? And some of them vote for Trump. It just boggles the mind, the number of black people I've talked to who voted for Trump in the last election. But look who they had to choose from. And they didn't even know who Bernie was, so they didn't come out in the primaries. Now, my argument is you do try to win over all rich, affluential, and the way to do that is two-tier, okay? First of all, you appeal to them on a moral, ethical basis. Believe it or not, no matter how screwed up rich people are, most of them think they're good people. Even the Republican and the right-wing conservatives, they think they are, but thinking and being are two totally different things, and that's a quote from me. I made that up, and it absolutely is true, and it's one of the most important things to understand, is that what goes on in your mind. And I've explained this to a lot of people. I say, you see that giraffe walking across the floor, a little one, it's only about a foot tall. It's walking across the floor there, and they look at it and they go, oh yeah, that one, And I go, you understand that it wasn't really there, right? It's just something that we pictured in our minds, right? Thinking and being are two different things. Really, there's a desk and a chair and a bed and, a computer in here, but there's no 1-foot giraffe walking across the room. Well, so we need to appeal to that good nature, because they're good-natured people. Even the worst racist is a good-natured person. It's just that they've been corrupted, right? I mean, that's what life is about. It's all about having to try to clean up the mess after the corruption, right? And all the shit that the corrupt people do and fuck everybody up, So that's the first level that you're going to want to be at. And yeah, you don't just forget about them completely. And then, of course, you need to try to appeal to them on a logical level. So, for instance, I tell rich people, look, I don't want to take anything away from you. I want your kids to be able to go to the best colleges. I want all that. I'm not going to try and take away your money. We don't need your money. We're going to build our own world. All we need to get you to do is to step aside and let us do it. Excuse me. And in fact, we will guarantee you your wealth, your lifestyle. We will guarantee if right now you can afford to send your kid to Harvard and you can get him in or whatever, send him somewhere else where he can get in, we will guarantee you and your family, all of its members and future members, that lifestyle in perpetuity. All you have to do is step aside. Yes, you're going to have to give up your companies and your ownership of, because I don't want to explain all this now, but basically the economy doesn't belong to them. The economic system belongs to the people. They produce 99.99% of the product. They consume 99% of the product. What part of the system doesn't really belong to them? Well, just the ownership. And that's all just a big scam, right? The way that the people who own everything now manage to get into that position and use that wealth to maintain that position. I'm sorry, I picked up something in that jail and I just can't shake it. It's probably going to kill me. Some kind of bronchitis or something. Appeal to them on those two levels and any other level. Don't waste a lot of money on trying to win them over. I mean, a lot of them are already on our side anyway. There's very few of them. That's why we call them the 1%. But your answer, sir, it doesn't fly with me. I'm sorry. I mean, you're obviously a smart guy, and you're right. What he says is right. I mean, why waste your time on rich black people? What are there, like 3 of them, and one of them's in jail, Bill Cosby? Okay, I'm kidding, but you get my point, right? And that's his point, I think. This is Martin Drummond for Progressive Democratic Party Headquarters News. God, that's hard to say. Hey, it's not my fault, man. I called it Democratic Party Headquarters News, which wasn't so bad, but everybody was like, well, I don't trust Democrats. I'm not going to watch your show. And I was like, oh, fuck. Okay, so I'll put progressive in front of it. And then all of a sudden, all kinds of people started joining. Anyway. Until next time, live long and prosper.